Welcome to this episode of the Voynich Manuscript podcast. Where in this episode, I'm Finn Hammersley.
I'm Joshua.
Skulls for the Skull Throne.
Madeline. And today we're continuing in our Creatures of Myth series. And today we're covering Creatures of Australian Myth.
Australia's not real, so therefore Australia is the creature of Australian myth. I have won the episode.
Speak up.
Fuck you.
Better.
I don't have to yell every one of my fucking
You kind of do, actually.
Yeah, for some reason, maybe it's just racist against you, but...
Yeah, you're just
I'm
not
the
being
only
picked up.
purebred
It's
Australian.
transphobic. Transphobic, Mike. That's
Transphobic.
Yep.
That's some gosh dang bullshit right there.
Alrighty. Well,
That picked up perfectly.
yeah, it did.
I'm gonna have to talk like this the whole
You
goddamn
said
time.
stab my bed.
I'm stabbing with a blunt.
Oh, okay.
Blunt stabbing. Like your mom.
It's a good thing that's been cut out. Anyway.
No.
So I've got 5 creatures from Australian myth, and I say Australia and surrounding islands, like the Torres Strait Islands and like a few of the other smaller ones.
Nice.
I've got 5 of them. I'm going to ask you, I'm going to ask you 1 to 5. Which one do you want me to cover first?
87.3.
Josh?
4.
4. Which one is 4? I can count. There we go. Alright, so the first creature we're going to be covering is Phylocenous Phallus, also known as the Phyllocene or the Tasmanian Tiger.
Oh.
Is an extinct species of carnivorous marsupial that was native to Tasmania, Australia. Also New Guinea, you know.
Yeah.
New Guinea Tiger doesn't have the ring to it. Though.
No, it doesn't. It sounds more like a football team.
Go New Guinea Tiger.
I mentioned them here because, yes, they did exist, but they
Yeah.
went to exist in 37, I think.
Extinct, you mean?
Yeah, extinct in
I
1937.
thought there was
mistaking.
sightings much after that and proven.
That's what I'm going to get to.
Yeah, I think that's the
Okay.
myth.
Yeah. They went extinct. They went properly extinct in 37. And there have been reports. There have been over 7,000 recorded sightings of the thylacine in Australia, New Zealand, New Guinea, and surrounding islands. But on further inspection, none of them have ever been actually the thylacine.
I always thought there was a chance because there was recently revealed like species have been like evolving back to existence. I always thought maybe they could have evolved back.
Well, I think there is a chance because people have been finding like DNA samples.
Well, actually, even more so than that, it is on the list of creatures that they want to bring back. And they do have like full, healthy DNA. It's just not going to be 100% Tasmanian tiger. It's going to be some Jurassic Park type stuff.
I was going to say it's going to be the Victorian tiger of the
Just
New South
realised
Wales
this is completely
tiger.
unrelated to the episode. Why is Evie spelled wrong on your big thing there?
I've always had an issue with that, but I looked it up, and that is actually from the original print. The original print of the Vaporeon card
Misspells Evie.
misspells Eevee in the Evolves From. And it kind of looks a bit almost not very like a Tasmanian tiger, so I'm keeping it in.
It's
Yeah.
relevant, goddammit.
I'm not the person who brought up an object inside the room this time.
Yes!
There's so much in the room. What are we supposed to bring up?
Honestly, there are so many things in this room.
You
Yeah,
have a
but-
fan.
Matt will be mad. Do you want to get anything else about my room out of your system?
Let's run. Gay.
Gay?
Bottle of wine.
Not important.
Moose.
Yep.
Gay.
Don't put it Yusuke and say gay.
Don't know who that is. Gay.
From Persona 5.
Gay.
Madeline's
Gay.
just pointing at every single
Gay.
Western item and calling it gay.
Yeah.
Gay, and gay.
Most of the people inside those pictures up there probably are gay.
Yeah, like, I think 2 of them aren't.
Link.
No, the 4 pics from our formal, which
Yeah.
you didn't go to.
Yeah, I was too cool for it. I was also too poor for it.
You were too cool, too poor, but your partner still managed to
And
go.
I didn't want to be there either, so it.
I still have pictures of our other friend who I will edit up, sitting on Nico's lap.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
I sent you the pictures!
I don't remember that.
This was 3 years
Maybe
ago.
my other account.
Yeah, I don't remember
I can
this.
resend you the pictures
I
if
don't
you
want to see that.
Anyway, in 2014, a man named Neil Waters started the Phylocenous Awareness Group of South Australia, or TAGSA.
Sounds terrible name. It is a terrible name. Tagster. It just sounds like a countrywide game of fucking tag.
I was thinking more like someone mispronouncing Texter. Oh yeah, what a Tagster!
What a tagster. Gonna find a devil.
And he believes that there are currently at least 1,000 living thylacines on mainland Australia. He recently gave a report on his work in Adelaide. He says that he has been placing... I'm going to try that again. He has been placing over 60 trail cameras out in the South Australian bush, trying to capture the Tasmanian tiger on film. He thinks that there are more sightings of them in that particular area because there's less bush to hide in and more open farmland. You look like you have something to say, Josh.
Well, I was just reading through articles about them online, and just some interesting things such as the ones that went extinct were inside a zoo in 1936.
Yeah, in, I think, Manhattan.
Hobart.
I could have sworn it was an American zoo.
Nope. But there were a lot of sightings in the very recent years afterwards. 1,200 to be precise.
Really? I didn't see any. Maybe you just found a source I couldn't.
Yeah, fair.
But these episodes always have the most sources, because I've got so many things I need to search. Look at all the sources for that. Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously the sightings might not have been real, but it's not unlikely to believe at least a few Tasmanian tigers survived in the forests for a decade or two after.
Yeah, but I doubt there was enough to be a breeding population.
No, definitely not.
But
otherwise we would have found them by now.
Oh yeah, definitely. He went on to say that the reported last sighting from South Australia was on January 21st, 2021. 3 years earlier, a woman told her husband that she had seen one and had just giggled over it. But now her husband had to admit she was right. On his way to work, he spotted a female Tasmanian tiger with two joeys playing by her side. It was the very same spot where her wife had seen one 3 years earlier.
I'd be willing to bet these are dingoes or foxes or something. We've got so many.
I actually think a big misconception. I think people mistake Tasmanian devils and Tasmanian tigers.
They're very different looking.
Yeah, no, I meant actually just they don't know what a Tasmanian tiger devil looks like, so they call it a tiger.
Like how in the other episode we're talking about phantom kangaroos and devil apes.
Yeah. So I think it's just people seeing Tasmanian devils and thinking it's a tiger.
Yeah, I think that is also a very real possibility.
Have you ever seen a Tasmanian devil in the wild?
I'm not in the wild, but I have seen one in Australia Zoo.
I've never seen one in... Oh, no, I have seen one in the wild, but I was 6.
My sports team in primary school was called the Tasmanian Tigers. We won everything. We were better than everyone else.
That's how it works.
Hashtag humble brag.
I didn't do anything. Senior?
Water boy.
Not even. Sit on bleachers, boy.
I'll have you know, at my school, I was the quarterback. Did we have 4 guys in the year level? Yes.
Quarterback? What are you, American?
Yes.
We played American football.
Oh. I stand corrected.
The only sport I was good at was long jump.
Dude, I played a decent bit of rugby.
I was actually good at soccer back in the day.
I played football as well, but that was in the UK. It was mandatory. And cricket.
And to this day, I'm still good at karate. I'm black belt, so...
Right. Anyway, he went on to... I already read that.
Get fucked.
For audio listeners, I am getting kicked by Madeline, and no, there is no videos.
No, there is no videos, unless you pay $50 to my OnlyFans.
Where you can see Madeline kicking Josh all over again.
In the shin.
While he's asleep.
Wouldn't make much of a difference.
And then we sat on his feet.
Okay, that would make a difference.
Anyway, one witness report from June 2020 was by a couple living on a sugarcane farm in northern New South Wales. So that's actually not that far from us.
Yeah, that's like probably, what, an hour and a half?
2 hours most, yeah. They claim to have seen Tasmanian tigers several times during recent years, and I've got a quote from them here.
I saw them goddamn tigers on my lawn.
Why-
I pulled out my shotgun.
They may or may not
Bang!
be Australian.
Now
but it
they're
doesn't
extinct
matter.
again.
I caused a species go extinct today. I lived up across half of my bucket list. Anyway, over the last few years, my husband and I have both seen what we believe to be Phylocenous. The most recent time, about 12 or 18 months ago, my husband saw it quite clearly, only a few metres away. He described it to me as not being quite being the same shape as a dog or a dingo, fairly light brown with stripes on its back. I showed him a photo online and he said, "That's it, it looked just like that." After telling our family one day, our daughter and son-in-law also said they believed they'd seen the same animal cross the road, in the same area one evening. Also, on some evenings, we hear an unusual sound from the general area. When I looked up the sound a Phylocenous makes, it was identical to the ones we found on YouTube.
Well, in 2018, 3 cyclists say they witnessed it crossing a road in front of them. I don't believe any of these people actually saw it, because, it's been long dead by then. I have a feeling maybe the last one could have died in, say, 1950 or something.
Northern New South Wales, around near where Byron Bay is. What happens in Byron Bay? Ice.
And a lot of, just so much weed.
Ice.
So much
I've
weed.
never been, so I can't.
I've been there with a lot of drugs. Mainly, ice is the main one.
All the ones that you look like you're on?
Yeah.
I intend this to be somewhat offensive. Almost everyone in Byron Bay looks like a hippie. Almost everyone.
Hippie the
I
good
don't
way
remember
or
the name,
hippie
but there was
the bad
one.
way?
I will
I had
let
fish
you
and chips
decide.
there, and
Fair
it was
enough.
really good. I don't remember the name of the shop, but one shop in Byron Bay has good fish and chips.
Nice.
That's it. That's all that matters.
Nice. And the beaches are amazing.
The beaches are really good there.
I see why they're all hippies.
Yeah, that's just why I've got the most COVID cases.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the Phylocenous finished, unless anyone has any final thoughts on it.
I want one as a pet.
They do look very pettable.
I want
Yes.
the bones of one, just to say I have them.
That's
Okay.
fair, that would be pretty sick to
I got the
have.
bones of a dead animal. I'm gonna bring it back.
Where's that lightning that Frankenstein used? Alright, number 1 to 4, I
I
guess.
should
Now.
roll the dice for this. Where's your d4s?
They're in the big jar that's too loud for you to get. Just give me a number, goddammit.
2.
2. Alright. This one is a creature known as the Kusa Cap. And I am going to immediately say I am very sorry for my pronunciations for all of this. I have had to write my own pronunciation guide
Oh my god.
because I just cannot do it. And I'm not even certain on most of these.
Well, at least you acknowledge it.
Yep. So,
Now we can bully him about it.
and I want to say a big thank you for the people at A Book of Creatures, which is a blog that I use very often. I've even got in contact with them, and they said that I can use this. It's great. I recommend it for anyone.
Nice.
Not sponsored, but
We can.
Friend of the show
We are
now.
willing to be sponsored. That's all I'm saying.
Sponsored for all our many, many viewers.
Yes. If you give us money, we'll say a happy thing.
all of my not even 30 viewers.
Nope.
Or listeners, I guess.
For every $5 we get in sponsors, I will write a joke for whatever sponsor it is. For every $5 we get from them.
Just send the money to my PayPal.
I have a PayPal.
I have a paper.
Okay.
Oh, why do you guys have PayPals? We live in Australia. We can just do bank transfers.
Well,
It's not to transfer money to people, it's so that I don't get scammed when I buy sketchy things on the internet.
Oh.
basically, yeah.
I'm
Anyway.
a regular user of G2A. Do you know how scary that is?
Anyway, so this next creature is the only one on the list from the Torres Straits Islands.
Oh.
I wish I could have included more, but I just couldn't find more. So, you know how it is. So, the tale of Kusa Cap is told on the islands of Duan and... Oh, very good. and I didn't write a pronunciation. It's not even told. Why does it say it? I would have written it down. told on the island of Duan, in the Torres Strait. The primary difference... these are basically two different stories, but I'm only going to tell the one from Duan, because they're basically the same story, just the names are different.
Okay, and this is all of this creature.
Yeah, this is all this creature, the Kusa Cap, which is a big red eagle, basically.
Okay.
Cool.
Was it a flightless bird or a flying one?
Oh, very flying.
Okay.
It's the horror of it, like it just dive bombs people and rips their head off, like Far Cry 4 style.
No.
Or magpie style. It's just a magpie.
It's just the legend of the deadly magpie. Except someone painted it red in its blood.
Imagine if there was like a magpie with giganticism and it could still fly. It would be terrifying.
Oh, that would be awful. But not like the cute British magpie, the evil Australian magpie.
Oh yeah, no. Our magpies have almost zero like physical relationship to each other, but they are both called magpies.
Yeah,
I
don't
remember
know.
the one time I grabbed a magpie out of the sky.
That's impressive. That is genuinely impressive.
There was dive bombing me on my way to school, and I just like fucking I don't know. I must have rolled some nat 20 of some bullshit, and I just got the bird.
Nice.
It just had the look of like
Fuck, what do I do now?
just this death stare of like just didn't know what to do.
I've done that with a fly once. I've just...
Oh yeah, I've done that to
Nice.
flies multiple times. I just had this full ass bird in my hand.
Felt like
Just
Mr.
like-
Miyagi.
And I'm just like, it's flop. It never annoyed me again.
Oh, and it is worth noting the reason we have so many birds named for same things, despite being completely different species.
Because we
When
were fucking colonized, those fucking pricks.
Yeah, when they were colonizing Australia, they refused to use the Aboriginal names for the birds, and they essentially just went, hey, this kind of looks like a magpie, we'll call it a magpie.
Even though it's a different colour, uses different patterns, and didn't act like a magpie in the slightest.
Yep, and that's the case for a lot of species of birds.
Worst comes to worst, we blame Finn.
Why?
'Cause
Is
we're
it just...
British?
Okay, you got it.
I'm like a third British, but yes.
And Josh too.
Sky is like half British.
I'm not British whatsoever. Fuck all you guys.
Aren't you?
I don't think so.
Where's your ancestry from?
Panama?
Panama.
Yeah.
That's
I
not
think my
expected.
dad's side is Irish.
Ah, I'm a third Irish.
I'm like half Irish then. I'm more Irish than you. I don't
Anyway,
embrace my culture.
I'll get on with the story now. Kaudab was a successful and handsome young dugong hunter from Duan. He was married to Bakar, a woman so beautiful that she was expected to never leave the house. But he was also... he
Can't stop thinking about dugongs. It's so stupid.
You're gonna like this next bit. But he had also attracted the attention of Jizz.
Okay.
Breathe, Madeline.
Fuck you.
For maturity.
I am 19 years of age, god damn it.
Jizz was a dogai, a cunning female spirit with long ears and the ability to shapeshift. Jizz would spend long hours desiring the beautiful red-headed man for herself. She was also so jealous that she wouldn't leave him out of sight. Jizz could not tolerate Bakar's existence. Shut up, Madeline! You're making me laugh more than the name Jizz. There's a great sentence coming up later, but you're going to love them.
We are adults.
One day, as Bakar was looking for octopi, or octopuses, as it says here. It's octopi, yeah. Jizz drove into
pineapple.
Jizz drove into a rock pool and turned herself into an octopus. Bakar had never seen an octopus before, and she leant over the pool to try to grab it, only for Jizz to grab her with her tentacles
Okay.
What hentai am I listening to?
and drag her underwater. Shut up! Bakar knew immediately that this was no ordinary octopus,
The calm octopus.
but a dogai in disguise, and screamed for Kaudab to help, but alas, he was too far away to hear her. This was only the beginning of Jizz's revenge.
Fucking Star Wars movie. Return of the Jizz.
She pulled Bakar through a pangarab... I'm going to try that. I have a pronunciation for this one, ever. A pangarabia tian, which is I've lost where I was, which was a tunnel beneath the sea, and took her to the island of Kusa, near New Guinea, where she abandoned the young bride before returning to Cowdab's home and transforming into Bakar herself. When Cowdab came home, Jizz tried to prepare food for him, but did not know how to do so, burning her fingers on the coals, cackling wildly, and breaking wind crudely with every movement.
Ah, damn Jizz.
Thus, Cowdab knew his wife had been replaced by a Dogai. Bakar, meanwhile, was alone on a deserted island. There was nothing to eat besides kusa seeds, and she became pregnant as a result.
What?
And
Pregnant by Jizz?
no, by kusa seeds. And then eventually laid an egg, like that of a sea eagle's. It hatched into a baby eagle that she cared for with as much love as if it had been a human child. She named the bird Kusa Cap after the kusa seeds that had conceived her. Please.
Hentai.
This is a bit in your last set of episodes. Don't bring the bit back.
Yeah, we gotta have original bits every time.
Yeah, original.
We need to be funny. Josh, say something funny.
Josh.
Stop typing on Google Translate.
Fuck you, I'm not original.
Is Josh purely speaking through fucking Google Translate?
We thought that's what was going to happen last time, but he disappointed us.
Josh is disappointed.
Go on.
Did you miss?
You missed.
You missed!
No, I typed something, but then you guys kept speaking, and it made no sense anymore.
Okay. With Bakar's care, Kusa Cap grew quickly. His first attempts to fly were clumsy, but soon his wings were strong enough to carry him to the tops of trees. In time, he was strong enough to fly to Dowdy and bring back coal, string, bark, and a bamboo knife, which Bakar used to get a fire going so she could start cooking food. The next day, Kusa Cap saw a dugong for the first time. He seized it in his talons and carried it off to Bakar to cook. In time, he was capturing many dugong, sending the surplus to Posipas, which I believe is a neighbouring island. Finally, Bakar told her son to go to Duan and give him directions to find Cowdab's house. He informed him of Bakar's plight and responding to the question with nods, and directed Cowdab to Bakar's island by alighting on the mast of his canoe and guiding him. Before long, Bakar and Cowdab were joyfully reunited again. The only thing left was Jizz.
My thoughts for the story. So, dugongs are big animals, right?
Yeah, they range in size. From big to small.
Big. And then they're like fat and heavy and shit. Why did the big bird not just pick up the woman and take her off of this island?
You make a very good point. Yeah, the only thing left was Jizz. And Kusa Cap swooped onto her and carried her off in his talons. After torturing her at length by dropping and recapturing her, he let go of her far away from Duan. She plunged into the sea and turned to stone, becoming Dogail Malu, the Dogai Sea. There is a final twist to the tale of Kusa Cap. In the accounts of New Guinea given by De Albertus, he is informed by his... Don't touch that. It's flimsy. He's informed by his travelling companions of a gigantic bird, some 16 to 22 feet in wingspan, whose wings made a noise like a steam engine. It lives around the Maikusa River. He adds that the natives have seen it carry dugongs into the air. He rejects the claim and later shoots a red-necked hornbill, which is a large bird that makes a strange noise in flight. He succeeded in convincing two of his three companions that this was in fact the bird in question. Either way, despite Kusa Cap being described as an eagle, Haddon identifies the red-necked hornbill as the origin of the Kusa Cap legend on the basis of its dugong snatching activities. So
this is a very confusing story.
This myth just got busted, pretty much.
Basically, yeah. But
could you give just a very quick, very
TLDR
quick, TLDR of that story, because I got a little lost.
So basically, Spirit is trying to woo a man, but this man is married. To get rid of the wife, the spirit turns into an octopus and drags her through a tunnel in the ocean to a desert island. The spirit then goes back to the husband, disguised as the wife. He doesn't fall for it because she doesn't know how to be human. And meanwhile on the island, the wife is subsiding off these things called Kusa seeds, which for one reason or another make her pregnant with a bird, which then hatches and becomes a big bird called Kusa Cap, which then directs the husband to the island where the wife is and drags the spirit into the ocean where she turns to stone, and they all live happily ever happily ever after.
Happily ever ocean.
And the spirit's name was Jizz.
Nice.
The only important
Cool.
part.
That makes a lot more sense to me now.
Yeah. That is the long and short of the story. Any comments about that? Because that's what I have. Because I just quickly, that is the only thing I could find on this. The other things were in obscure books that either no longer published or just you can't find anywhere. And it's ridiculous.
Oh, no, that's kind of sums it up for
A
me.
lot of legends like that are spread by word, so...
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm the campfire.
1 to 3. Which one next?
1.
1? Alrighty. So, this next creature is called the Yarama Yahoo. The Yarama Yahoo is a sort of a bogeyman in Aboriginal
I
folktales.
think I've heard of this. Definitely have.
It's probably one of the more popular ones I'm going to cover. Actually, it's like of the 5 I'm covering, it's the second least well known, just because the other 3 are really well known. But
Fair.
We just accidentally picked like the non-popular ones.
I go out of my way to.
No, out of the ones we've got here, have we picked the ones? So
Tasmanian Tiger's really well known.
Apart from the Tasmanian Tiger, yeah.
I forgot we did that.
Anyway, the Yarama Yahoo is a sort of bogeyman in Aboriginal folktales. It's a stout red creature with a disproportionately large head with a toothless mouth that can be opened like a snake. Its throat and stomach are similarly distendable, and it is said that an adult man can easily be swallowed by the Yarama Yahoo without discomfort. Its fingers and toes, or as I spelt it, toasis, are tipped with suction cups that it uses to climb fig trees. That is a depiction of the Yarama Yahoo. That's another good one. Let me try to find the one that's the one that I often associate. Yeah. That's also from Book of Creatures. Once again, thank you.
Nice.
Lone fig trees are the Yarama Yahoo's favourite haunt. They hide in the trees and wait for lone or weak people, or just children, to walk by or use the tree as shade. At which, when that happens, it pounces. When they attack, they launch from the trees onto their prey, and they latch their suction cups onto them and use them to drain the blood from their victims. It does not drain them entirely, only enough to make them faint. It then leaves the victims for a while, eventually returning to their prey to swallow them head first, and while it is swallowed, it takes a nap. After waking up, the Yarama Yahoo vomits their victim up. The human is almost always alive and playing dead, because in these folktales, people are basically told, play dead.
Yeah.
Because it's like, just let it do its thing and then run.
Yeah.
There is no reason to fight back, as the creature can overpower the strongest of men. The Yarama Yahoo takes 5 paces and returns and pokes the victim's undersides with a stick. It then walks away 10 paces before returning to tickle the human under their arms or neck to check if it's alive. A 50-yard stroll is followed up by more tickling, then the Yarama Yahoo goes back behind a bush and sleeps if it's satisfied. It is important not to yet let a Yarama Yahoo swallow you multiple times. The second time you are swallowed and regurgitated, you become shorter and completely hairless. By the third time, you are shorter still, and thick hair grows over your body. Eventually, after enough cycles of swallowing and vomiting, you become a Yarama Yahoo yourself.
Huh. Yeah, I think I've heard this. Like, I've heard about the stories of this thing before.
Yeah,
I know-
It sounds vaguely.
I know that I've bought it up before. I don't know specifically with you two, but I have bought this up before because I think it's an interesting thing. But
Funnily enough, I think I heard about it at school.
really, actually, it doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise
I think
me.
I probably heard about it in like a history class at some point. We covered way too much Australian history for my liking.
Yeah, I would have preferred more world history, but
I just want one thing to cover the American Civil War, goddammit.
fair enough. I mean, that's
It's
sort
not
of
that.
interesting.
Well, no, it's just like it doesn't have that much of an effect on us. So
I
I
don't
guess
care
they
if it
just
has an
haven't.
effect on me.
Still a cool thing to learn about.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's pretty much all I have for Yarama Yahoo. It's probably one of the shorter ones I've got. But any other comments?
No.
Vor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vampire, Vor.
I do like that story, though. It's one of the more interesting ones to me.
Last two. Which one do you want?
Oh.
First or the second?
Sick.
Second? This is probably the most popular one I'm going to be covering today. We're covering fucking drop bears.
Yes.
Yeah! Me. We're covering me. I am the drop bear. I will be taking questions.
So, drop bears. Thylacross plummetus, more commonly known as drop bears, are around the size of a leopard or very large dog, with coarse orange fur with some darker mottled patternings, as seen with most koalas.
Yeah.
The creature is told to be heavily built an animal with powerful forearms for climbing and holding on to prey. It lacks canines, using broad, powerful premolars as biting tools instead.
Oh, they are bloody massive.
Yeah, they're fucking huge.
Hmm.
Like, because I used to live back in my old house near here, the one across the thing. I used to live near one of the forests
Oh yeah, yeah.
that's across there. I think I've seen like a couple in there as well. They're
I've-
big.
I've personally never seen one in person, but like you can see what they've killed
Yeah.
because it's brutal.
They found like possums and stuff on the road that they've left behind. After they
Yeah,
dropped it. It's
Roadkill
gross.
looks nicer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stories of kill sites and examinations of scat suggest mainly medium to large species of mammals make a substantial proportion of the animal's diet. Often prey such as macropods, often larger than the drop bear itself. So stuff like...
Yeah, kangaroos. I've seen
Kangaroos,
plenty of dead kangaroos
yeah.
from it.
I've also heard reports of like horses and shit being...
Really? I've
Yeah.
never seen one that big.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a horse. I think I've seen a couple of kangaroos.
Oh, absolutely.
But I've definitely not seen a horse.
Well, up north, like, as you're heading towards Cairns, there are some areas where it's like, yeah, you just know it's... where there's a bunch of dead kangaroos or something in the area.
I mean, people like to cover it up. People say it's like killed by cars. But no,
Yeah.
it's fucking drop bears.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Like-
no, you think they're killed by cars if they're on the side of the road, but if they're further out into the bush, you know they're just, no.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, drop bears hunt by ambushing ground-dwelling animals from above, waiting up to as much as 4 hours to make a surprise kill. Once prey is within view, the drop bear will drop as much as 8 meters to pounce on top of unsuspecting victims. The initial impact often stuns prey, allowing it to be bitten on the neck and quickly subdued. If the prey is small enough, drop bears will haul it back up to the tree and feed without harassment from other predators.
I've heard that it uses its claws more so than its teeth.
Well, I guess it does have very sharp claws, but like it said earlier, the premolars on it are just
They rip into it's a predator.
Okay, yeah.
Some suggested folk remedies and like repellents for drop bears have included having forks in your hair, or Vegemite or toothpaste spread behind the ears. But there is no evidence to suggest that this
Yeah.
works.
I have a feeling that wouldn't really scare it off.
Yeah, I don't think it cares too much about forks.
No, I feel like the best way to do it would just be, here's something better and slower.
And like, don't walk under gum trees.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always keep. It's not even don't walk on it. Just keep an eye out. It's
Yeah.
It's really just keep an eye up
Yeah.
because we gotta also keep an eye down. Snakes exist.
Yeah, and if
You
you're
gotta
in a car or
you're flicking
something,
like this all
This
the
is why
time,
Australia is. This is why we suggest Australia is bad for backpackers.
Yes.
They just keep fucking coming.
Exactly. We tell them so many times. Like, the wildlife wants to kill you. Everything
Yeah.
here just wants to kill you. They just don't listen.
honestly, stay in
Trapdoor
a car.
spiders, blue ring octopus, drop bears, Kangaroo.
Box jellyfish.
Box jellyfish.
We are death. As someone who's, I go like camping in the bush a lot as well. It's hard. You got to know what you're doing.
Oh,
you can't just be a tourist and go, I'm going to go climb in this fucking forest. You're gone.
Yeah.
Has a kangaroo ever tried to fight you before?
Yes.
No, but I have seen it. I've seen it fight someone.
Yeah.
One has tried to fight. I was at a zoo. I think I fed it too much. Or I just pissed it off and it just fucking
Oh, I
started trying to throw hands. I'm like, I'm 5.
I was petting
I'm 5!
This was only like a year ago. I was petting one in the wild. Petting kangaroo in the wild, and then and it had a joey with it. Which, yeah, you can see how this would go wrong. And then, have you seen those, like, viral photos of
You
a
were
ridiculous...
18, Josh.
Yeah. Have you seen those viral photos of those, like, really buff kangaroos?
Yeah.
Yeah. One
Roger.
of them that looks as buff as those came around the corner, and it was the scariest thing I've ever seen. I literally just sprinted away.
I do not blame you.
Yeah, my mum was with me as well. We were literally just running as fast as we could back to the car. It was funny.
I would have just kicked its way in at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we
You-
got in the car
you-
and just drove off immediately.
Then a fucking drop bear got it.
Fucking probably.
Yeah.
I don't know if a drop bear would beat that kangaroo. It was,
Really? You reckon it stand a chance?
yeah, it was one of the, red kangaroo, whatever they're called?
Isn't it grey kangaroos that are the bigger ones, or is it red?
No, I think it's red.
I think it's red ones.
It's
It's also location dependent.
biggest kangaroo.
You want to do species, it's just
Yeah,
not
species.
singular
Red.
kangaroos.
It is red.
Red? Cool. Okay. I was wrong.
Yeah, so it was a red kangaroo. And, yeah, he looked like, that, essentially. Like, yeah, he essentially looked like that. A
was
super
that
buff
movie?
kangaroo.
Kangaroo Jack.
Kangaroo Jack.
But, you know, that's... Have you seen Kangaroo Jack?
Oh, not for a
Yeah.
long time.
It has 30 seconds of that kangaroo in it.
Of Buffy.
No, of Kangaroo Jack. It's a heist movie. And that is a dream sequence with the CGI kangaroo in
You
it.
named the entire movie after.
And they put it all in the trailer. Should be an M-rated film. There is very open nudity and sex scenes in that film.
Huh.
But it was marketed towards children because it had an animated kangaroo in it for 30 seconds.
Huh.
No, I need to rewatch it now. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
It's also a shit movie.
It's also, yeah, I can tell it's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man, fucking
Oh,
ripped.
you want to touch me, fucking wife kangaroo, mate?
So, yeah.
I'll
Tiger.
kanga fuck you up, you know?
Drop bears, if you're ever visiting Australia, look up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Keep an eye up if you're anywhere near a forest.
Yeah.
And you might see a normal koala and think it's a drop bear, but don't
Don't
worry.
take- don't
Well,
take
no.
the
Well, no, no,
The
no.
difference is, koalas are like...
Yeah, koalas
that's
are
it.
quite small. Drop bears
Are
are
about
like...
the size of a big dog or a big cat.
Yeah, and they're also, like, black. Black fur.
And moving swiftly along with that good tangent, speaking of big cats,
Final one.
final one. ABC's Alien Big Cats.
Okay, this is unheard of to me.
Rodents are unusual.
Also known as Phantom Big Cats.
Rouse.
Okay.
Or Phantom Black
Wait, wait,
Cats.
cows. Cats
Um,
are unusual size.
I
So-
have not heard of this one before.
It's actually a shockingly common phenomena. Especially in inland Australia, the Blue Mountain region, and the coast.
Oh.
So,
Us.
I used to live up in the Blue Mountains.
I
for a
know
little.
you did.
We still live on the coast.
Yeah. But I'm talking like on the beach. So I'm actually going to be talking about, I think I've got five different big cat sightings. And these are all like cited sightings with pictures and everything.
Okay.
But apart from like a picture or like a 2-second video, nothing else.
Huh.
So the most famous one is the Gypsyland Phantom Cat in southeast Victoria in Gypsyland. It was, first of all, these are all the same, so it's just like there has been a sighting of usually a panther,
Okay.
but some of them are there's one of them's a tiger. And,
Oh, I've definitely heard stories of, like, panthers out in the wild.
Yeah.
Even in Australia for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, you can find stories of alien big cats all over the world, but they're most prevalent in Australia.
Oh, so that's what it means by alien big cat, like those just random stories you hear of
Yeah.
a big cat out in the wild.
Yeah. So that's stuff like I saw a list of all the countries, and it was like Australia, America, the UK, France, Canada, China, and a few other places where it's just like places where big cats should not be,
But they are.
but they are.
I think I might have seen something like that at some point. I've got a vague memory of it. Then my memory's terrible. It could be anything.
But yeah, in the Gypsyland area in southeast Victoria, American World War II airmen brought cougars with them as mascots and allegedly released them in the Australian bush.
Yeah, Australians have a fucking kangaroo. Not kangaroo.
Cougar.
No, never mind.
Cougar. I doubt they'd still be alive to this day, like any
Oh,
of their
no, but like this-
any of their descendants either, because Australian wildlife would have just slaughtered these things.
Yeah,
And
fucking
it
drop
just
bears.
well, even then, like even if the drop bears didn't get it, then like this is not the environment that they were they are adapted
and we've got
towards.
snakes and stuff like that would
Yeah.
kill it in a bite.
Snakes. Yeah, fucking some spiders could probably kill
Yeah,
them.
I doubt it would pierce the fur.
The next
Drop
is
bear's the
the
biggest threat.
yeah. The next is the Grampians puma, a study in Deakin University, which isn't far from here. It's I know where it is. I'm drawing a blank.
That's like 2 hours away.
Yeah, it's close.
We are giving our location away.
Ah shit, they're hunting us down.
Yeah, a study by Deakin University concluded that the existence of big cats in the Grampian Mountains were demonstrated beyond reasonable doubt. So, like, there have been things in the Grampians Mountains of big cats, but and this university has gone, yeah, probably.
I've noticed that in like the mountains and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I
like mountain lions. One, it's in the name,
Yeah.
and two, like of course there's going to be some, like, even if it's not native. The next, like probably the second most popular, is the Blue Mountains panther.
Yeah.
The Blue Mountains panther is a phantom cat reported in the Blue Mountains, obviously west of Sydney, for over a century. Speculations about the Blue Mountains panther include a theory that it's a descendant from either a circus or zoo escapees, or is a descendant of a military mascot like the Gypsyland Phantom Cat.
Well, these are supposed.
That is a dog.
Yeah. I'm looking at supposed sightings of them, and some of them just look like either bad camera work or a dog or something. Well, this
Yeah.
one kind of looks like it.
Yeah, but that doesn't look like a big cat. Like, look at it. But look at the neck and the face. Like, that is a lot shorter
Panthers
face.
aren't big cats. They're big, but
No,
they're not.
but it's all about the physiology of the cats. Like, I watch a lot of nature documentaries, if you can't tell.
Fair.
Like, if you zoom in on that picture, like, that is very clearly a house cat. Look at how short the legs are compared to the body. The tail is a lot shorter, and the face is a lot more compressed.
Panthers are one of the types of cats that, to my knowledge, do have shorter legs.
But it's also
Like,
about face
actually,
shape and
Look, this is an actual panther.
yeah.
That's
that-
what I mean. Very short legs.
Yeah, but look at the neck. Look how long that neck is
So
compared
how are
to
you
that.
going audio
Yeah.
listeners who cannot
Yeah,
see anything?
just
of what
look
they're
up.
thinking
What did you look up to get that? Because
I
that
just typed up Blue Mountains panther.
yeah, that is the most popular photo. I've seen that photo on practically every article.
Yeah, but realistically, it's probably not a panther.
That's not a panther. That's a person.
Oh.
That's a person.
Oh, okay, yeah, there's a picture of a person.
Anyway, video footage showing a large black cat near Lithgow. That's a cat. That's just a house cat.
No, that's I just showed it. Anyway,
Yeah, video footage showing a large black cat near Lithgow was examined by a group of seven zoo museum, park, and agricultural staff who concluded it was a large domestic cat. Basically, partly on the morphology of the and partly on the behaviour of a nearby normal-sized domestic cat. Shit, that's a lot of. I'm just going off the most popular ones, but yeah, they are a common occurrence.
yeah, I just brought up a map showing big cat sightings in New South Wales, and
That's just New South
apparently
Wales.
Hawkesbury has a bloody lot of them. 173.
The next one is the Tentanola Tiger. A region around Tentanola, a town in southeast South Australia, was supposed to have been stalking ground of the Tentanola Tiger during the 19th century. On the 25th of August 1895, an animal believed to be the Tentanola Tiger was shot by Tom Donovan and identified as a wolf. Although no such species appears to exist in the area, it was stuffed and remains on display in the Tentanola Hotel to this day.
Huh.
And the last one I'm going to cover of the big cats, and actually of the episode, is actually one literally very close to home.
Oh.
The Sunshine Coast big cats.
Oh.
It's not too close. It's a few hours.
It's the closest
It's
that
like
we've
an hour
covered.
and a half, 2 hours. So.
There have been some claims that big cats have stalked near the hinterlands of the Sunshine Coast, Queensland, since the early 19th century.
Oh.
Though these claims have been met with skepticism, obviously, like all of them, I just thought this is just like the last one that I found. Not much detail, but I wanted to bring it up because it's the closest one to us.
Nice.
And I thought it would be
Turns
funny.
out this one's actually in our hometown. And it was found 5 minutes ago out the front of our house.
Oh
found a
shit!
pen. I found a pen. Oh, it is entering the...
Like in Grown Ups 2, when the deer
We
entered
don't
the
need to bring
house.
back Adam Sandler.
The cat thing does remind me of, like... Did you ever hear stories of, like, crocs in the local rivers and stuff
Yeah.
like that? I don't know how true any of them were, but I remember, like...
Most of them are probably just like kids trying to scare other kids. But...
Well, I used to live right next to the Brisbane River, and I remember
Oh, yeah.
hearing of sightings and all, and I thought I saw one time.
Isn't there like
Trying to mirror.
usually like bull sharks? in
Yeah,
the
I was about to
Brisbane
say,
River?
like, the
That's
Lo-
what I got told, is
The
just
Logan,
sharks.
I was.
Oh, there are bull sharks there. I know because
yeah.
I just go in there. I used to go in there pretty often
I was
boating.
gonna say, you don't want to go in there nowadays.
I mean,
That's
my
nice.
brother helped a lot with the cleanup of the 2011 floods,
Yeah.
and he has pictures that he took of bull sharks in butchers.
Yeah. Oh, my family lived in a flooded area right next to a river,
Me too.
and yeah, got to see a lot of that type of stuff.
I will always remember because I used to live in Jimboomba, and we couldn't leave Jimboomba because we were flooded in. So for about 3 days, we just like the whole town and 2 towns over as well had to live on just the supplies we had in the town. I can't remember it much because I was 9, but I do have a very distinct memory of watching the water get closer and just a wave of insects trying to get away from it.
I remember, and this has nothing to do with any of this.
Mm.
I remember it has literally nothing to do with
Yeah.
this. It just came into my head. Like, Dad always tells me the story of the time my mother burnt water.
Okay.
And it's literally just because back in 2001 or something, back when they lived down in Sydney, and there was that big scare in the Sydney's water supply.
Oh,
yeah.
All got infected, and you had to boil your water. Yeah. My mum, 5 times during that, left water boiling, and then just forgot about it. So came back hours later, and the pan was black with no water left inside of it because it all just
Okay.
evaporated.
That's genuinely impressive.
Mum, if you're watching this,
Listen.
I'm pretty sure you're mentally ill as well. Please do something about it.
I'm not editing that out.
Yeah, no, don't.
And that's all of the creatures of Australian myth for today.
Yay.
Was there like a... I don't know, this, not what am I covering. I remember there being one about like a mystical frog.
That is from the Dreamtime.
Yeah. Which, yeah, it can be debated
I
if you
remember
call it
from the-
mythology or religion.
I
or
remember
what
from
you
the
want to.
Disco Zoo mobile game that I have on my phone, where it's a zoo that you catch animals, but you can make them dance to disco music every once in
I
a while.
used to have that game.
You'd make double money during disco times.
But that was one of the ones I was considering covering, but I decided against covering any creatures from Dreamtime. So just yeah. I might do a whole another episode on that
Maybe.
if I feel like it.
Yeah.
Fuck you, I do what I want.
But yeah, this has been Creatures of Myth, Australian Myth. And the next country we're going to cover is Japan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's it for today's episode. I've been Finn.
I'm Josh.
Mephistopheles.
Yeah, close enough.
See ya.
Bye.